What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all have been well. Today, we're going to be changing the oil on the GR Corolla. First things first though, you want to make sure that your engine is warmed up. And for me, I'm going to go out and get some more oil because I only have a couple quarts because I bought these for one of the national events and just had them lying around. So I'm going to get 3 more and that'll make 5 quarts, which is more than enough for what we'll need for this job. So I'll be right back, let the engine cool off just a little bit, then we'll get started with what tools you'll need. All right, back from the store with some oil, and obviously we're letting the car cool off a little bit, but while we're doing that, it's time to go over the tools you're gonna need, well, the equipment you're gonna need for this job. Now, there's really not a lot that you're gonna need for this. All you're gonna need are either ramps or jack and jack stands to lift up the vehicle, and you only really need to lift up the front. You don't need to lift up the whole thing, but today I am actually gonna be using 4 jack stands because I am doing something else with the car as well, and I figure while I'm doing the oil, I might as well get that prepped and ready for the other thing I'm doing. So anyways, you either need ramps or jack stands. You're gonna need a oil catch tank or something else, maybe even a bucket if you want to use that, but something to catch the oil with. You're gonna need a ratchet with a 14mm socket and also a 10mm socket. You're gonna need a oil filter removal tool such as this. This is the smaller one. You could use a bigger one, it might fit, but I recommend just getting the smaller type. There's other things out there, but this works for me. You're gonna need a funnel for funneling in the new oil when you get there. Towels, gloves, obviously. New oil filter, which this is from STP. I couldn't find any Toyota branded ones, so this is the one we'll be using. I might actually make a video going over the type of filters that we actually have available for the GR Corolla. If you guys are interested, put that in the comments down below and I'll make it. And then obviously we need more oil. New oil, and what we're using today is the manual recommended 0W20. I go with Mobil 1. I've used that with the Fiesta and I just have found nothing wrong with it. It works well. So we're using that full synthetic formula today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the car lifted and onto jack stands and also let the engine cool down just a little bit more. All right, with your car either on jack stands or rolled onto ramps, we're gonna go ahead and open up your hood if you haven't already. And first things first, we're gonna open up the oil fill cap. Now, it's gonna be pretty pressurized probably with how hot it is, but just give it a good little twist. Kind of clean up the area before fully opening it with a cloth or a rag, whatever you got. And then go ahead, open this up fully and go ahead, set it on there. What I like to do is just kind of wrap this up and kind of set it right here. That way, you know, there's probably not going to happen. There's no big chunks of debris or anything I can get in here, but dust and just little things like that. But you have air that'll be able to get in there while you're draining, so it'll make it a little bit quicker. Next, go ahead, take your oil drain bucket or drain tank, whatever you got, and prep it. So with these, you're going to open up the cap and pop open this little air bleeding valve thing right here. Not even a valve, just an opening. Open that, toss it under the car. Now, moving under the car, you're gonna find the cover that covers the oil filter and the oil drain plug. Now, this, you'd think that this might be annoying to take off and all this stuff, but it really isn't. All it's gonna take is using a 10mm socket to take off 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. Now with these 4 screws out, set that on your panel, move it to the side. And taking a quick look under here before we get started, we got the oil filter right here and also the oil drain plug right there. So this little opening right here is perfect because as soon as you open that, it's just gonna flow stream right past all of this, won't touch it at all, into your drain bucket. And the filter is very accessible. So pretty easy process once you get this car jacked up and the panel off. So let's get to it. So before removing the drain bolt, you're definitely gonna wanna make sure to position this in a way just like this so that it'll drain down as it gets pointed over that way. So looking at this, looks about right there. Now, it wouldn't hurt to have maybe some towels over on the outside, left, right, and over in the back, just in case there's a little bit of overspill or something like that, but it's not really necessary. Now, once your drain bucket is in position, go ahead, take your 14mm socket and remove the bolt. Oh, and one thing before taking off the bolt, you're gonna want some gloves, all right? So as you're taking off the bolt, you're gonna need to grab it, and it's gonna be a little bit warm, maybe a little bit hot, and there's also gonna be hot oil coming out of it. So you're gonna want gloves, either these or maybe even like mechanics gloves when you're taking the bolt off. That way you don't get any oil on your hands and you don't get burned. Now with the oil obviously still draining a little bit from the drain plug, you're gonna wanna move your tank over a little bit while still letting the oil drain out there, and position it in a way that's under your filter as well. Now with your tank in position right under the filter, you're gonna go ahead, take your tool, and then we're gonna wrench it off. All right, now that you have the filter off, go ahead, let the remnants of the oil drain out. And while you're doing that, go ahead and grab your bolt out and clean that up. Go ahead, wipe it down, and then just set it to the side. Now it's time to do some prep work with the filter before we put it on. All you're gonna need is one bottle, or your big bottle, of your oil, just any new oil. What you're gonna do, just pour a little bit of it in here. Take your new filter, open it up, and what we're gonna do is prep it by first taking this bullshit off. And what we're gonna be doing is taking your finger, dabbing it in some of the oil, and putting it around the ring. Okay, so this is gonna help it have a proper seal, make sure this is well lubricated, and then you're good to go. All right, now before installing your new filter, you're gonna wanna clean up the area a little bit. So just take a rag, just kind of dab the area, get the residual old oil out of there, then take your new filter and just slot it on. You're gonna wanna tighten it until it's completely hand tight. And then what I like to do is take your removal tool, put it on the filter, turn it about a quarter turn. It's got this sticker on it so it's not gripping, but basically just turn your filter a quarter turn after it's been hand tightened, and then you're good to go there. You don't want to tighten it down too much. Now with your new filter installed, go ahead, clean up the area around where the drain bolt goes, and then put your drain bolt back in. Now once it's hand tight, I don't like to take a torque wrench to it. What I like to do is take a socket in my 14 mil and just tighten it until it stops. Right there. All right, now that your filter is installed and your drain bolt is reinstalled, it's time to get to filling up the oil again. All right, so now that the oil filter is on and your drain plug is reinstalled, it is time to refill the oil. Now, do not put the cover back on yet. You're gonna wanna check and make sure there's no leaks as you're filling the oil. If you were to cover it up, obviously you would probably just get a puddle of it right here if there was a leak, but it's good to just keep it off. Keep your bucket or your tank down here just in case. It's time to go fill up the oil. All right, moving back to the top of the car, go ahead and move the fill cap with the rag over to the side and take a clean or just strictly used for oil funnel and put it into. Now for the GR, you're gonna wanna put in about 4.3 to 4.5 quarts of oil after you emptied the engine. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put in 4 of these because there's 1 quart in each of these. So we're gonna put in 4 at first, and then we're gonna calculate it out with the other one. Now, once you have one of your 1 quart containers emptied, go ahead, leave it in the funnel for now, and go back under and check for leaks. We don't have any. Now you take that out and continue the process. All right, so with a 1 quart bottle, if you have a 5 quart, then obviously it'll be displayed as 5 quarts, but, well, in quarts on the side of the bottle, but here it's displayed in milliliters. Now, there are 946 milliliters in 1 quart, so if you're using the small bottles, we're gonna go down to about, well, I am, about to the 600. So fill up, this is for your last bottle, right? So we already put 4 quarts in there. Now we're gonna put about 346 milliliters into here. So let's do that really quick. And then what I usually do is check the oil after I've been running it for a little bit and just see if we need to put in any more. So that's about good right there. It's not on a completely stable surface, but you could see it's close to the 600, so that is good for us. We're gonna run the engine in a little bit and see if that works. But other than that, your job is complete, and you have some extra oil just in case you need it. Now with your oil filled up as much as you need it to be, go ahead, take the funnel out, put it to the side, take your cap up the oil drain plug, the oil fill plug, and then move on to reinstalling the cover. There you go. Once the cover's on, go ahead, take the oil drain tank, pull that out from under the car, take your car off of stands or your ramps, and then you're good to go. So congratulations on changing your oil in a GR Corolla. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, leave your comments in the comment section down below, and be sure to subscribe. Ring the bell so you guys can be notified of any new content I have coming up here soon, including the thing I'm working on now. It'll probably be posted before this, but who knows, maybe it'll be after. So ring the bell, be notified when I have my new content. And until next time, guys, have fun, stay safe, and keep going fast.